Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this price ladder analysis stream that we do every week on Tuesday here at Futex Live. Bit of an exciting little video that we're going to be doing today. First, I'm going to be going through a very short and sweet setup that we saw in the Bund at the beginning of January. And then at the end of the stream, I'm going to be making quite an exciting announcement. I think for those of you that have been following this kind of develop, and you probably know what I'm talking about by now. I'm making a little bit of an announcement at the end, so just stay tuned for that after we go through the setup. So just to start us off, what we're going to be looking at is particularly in the Bund futures, and this is going to be on the 11th of January 2016. Now the setup is actually an open setup, so we're going to be looking at it at 7 a.m. GMT. So literally just as the futures open in the Bund futures. And we're going to take a look at what happens on the depth of market and what we can see on the price ladder and see if we can try and position ourselves for a little bit of a move. So let's take a look at this replay. So we'll just get this started. As you can see, we're paying attention at the minute to the Bund here. This is our currently the white box, the 159.78 is basically it's pre-market open auction. So people are putting in their orders. You can see as people put in sell orders, the market moves down. As people start putting buy orders in, the market will move back up again. So this is pre-market auction. We're about 30 seconds, 25 seconds away from the actual open. So you can see people still putting in their orders. And we're trying to find at what price the market's going to settle to open. And usually we get the open at around 7:01. So Euro Stocks usually opens around 7 on the dot, just after 7. Bund you usually find just after about 7:01 is when we actually get the open. So let's just see, we're coming into that open as we speak right now. So 159.77s. 159.77s is our open. We just ticked up 1 or 2 ticks, 3 ticks up to 80s. We've traded a little bit of size here at 79s. We're just going offered through these 77s. Let's just see if we can see any sort of testing of the overnight positions, not overnight positions, but the positions we put through in the late hours of the US session. You can see we're seeing a bit of a seller step in just below these 77s. It's driving us lower, doing quite a little bit of volume here at these 73s here. It's a little bit more volume than these other. We've left a bit of a low volume node just underneath at 75s. So just in here, we've left a low volume node of 8 lots, low volume node. And we're building a little bit of value, as you can see, just below that low volume node. And it seems as if for the time being, just on the very, very open of the market, we've got a little bit of a tail here. So we have just a little bit of a tail. Now you're seeing some sellers step into the market here, trying to pay down even a little bit further. Another LVN just at 159.70s, and doing a little bit of volume now at 69s and 68s. Our low of the day is now at 159.67s. Now, given this is our structure, effectively it seems like we're trying to auction between this area, between 159.74s and 159.67. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in an offer at 674s just ahead of that LVN, and another little offer just ahead of the open. Now we've seen a bit of a test drive, so that we've had a bit of an open, a drive, and I'm looking for the market now to test back at or near the opening price at 159.77s, and then hopefully, you can never hope too much in the market, but what we're going to be looking for is a move back down towards the low of the day to take out the low of the day. So let's just see how this pans out. It seems now got a bit size here just on, well, relatively in the opening session, the future session at 69s. 270 lots there just got taken with a 2 lot. Now that's something I'm keeping in mind. So right in here, we had 200 lots, which when offered on 2 lots, which is telling me potentially someone, maybe early doors, is looking to spoof. Possibly. You know, usually during the cash session, a spoof would probably be between, 1 to 2, maybe 3K lots would actually spoof the market. But given that we're just in the future session, 2 to 300 lots actually can spoof the market a little bit, because you can see the average bid and offer size is quite small. So at the minute we're just trading here down at these 68s. Someone just tried selling in there. We've had a little bit of reloading actually at 159.68. Someone just sold 200 lots at market, and someone's reloaded the bid and now gone back bid. So maybe we might be seeing a little bit of a bounce here, and hopefully we'll get that bounce up into our offers just ahead, like we said, at 159.77, which is our opening price. That is our open. Let's just see how this pans out. Let's erase some of this. Okay. Just a minute, we can see we're trading 159.70s. Not much volume going through the market. Like we said, we're just waiting to see if we can get a little bit of a move back up into the area where we're offered. Just went bid here on 2 lots. Let's just see if we can see any sort of size that we can read, any sort of volume that we can read. And when we're not doing this much volume, it's really hard to read price action because there's nothing really to read. Again, someone just tried selling in there. It seems as if there was a very quick reloading there at 71s. We've now just gone bid 72s. Just after that, traded 73s. Again, someone quickly selling into 72s, a reload. Someone's seemingly reloading, just gone bid there at 73s. And now we're just filled there, 10 lots at 159.74. Fill for 10 at 74s here. Seems like we're moving back up into the range where we're looking for a bit of a test. Now remember, our stop on this trade effectively is just above these 77. Now notice, 300 lots just stepped in at 74s. I know that the last time we had 200 or 300 lots, the guy was a bit of a spoof. He didn't really take much. There we had someone actually managed to take a bit at 75, so 130 contracts. That 200 lot there at 74 just went, well, basically when someone traded into him, he disappeared. So we're looking at potentially a bit of a spoof here, which is good for my position, because if he's spoofing and he pulls the rug, we might actually see the market come right back down again. Seen a little bit of reloading here at 74s. If this buyer that seemingly is taking a little bit of heat here at 74s, if he disappears, then possibly we'll get the offer 74s, offer 73s, and back down. Hopefully what we're looking for is down to 67s. Like we said, our risk is literally between 75s to 78s. We would stop out at 78s. Our reward is effectively down just ahead of the low of the day. We don't really want to, even though we're looking for a new low of the day, we're effectively going to place our bids just ahead of it. You don't really ever want to be a prick for a tick. If you're looking for the low of the day to get taken, just front run it by a tick or two, guys. It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, if you don't get filled at 67s, that's going to cost you time and time again. Unless you're looking for precision, you could be bid 67s if you're not filled and just smack 68s, but you have to be very, very quick. So you could just see here that buyer that was sat there at 73, 74 just disappeared. We're now getting a little bit heavier back on the offers. We filled on that first 10 lot at 69s. So very quickly, once that buyer at 74s and 73s disappeared, so we saw the buyer disappear. Once the buyer disappeared, then we finally got that move right back down. So we've gone filled on our first 10 lots here at 69s, as you can see on my order book here. Bought them back at 69s. Our last sell was at 76s. Average price, obviously, just in between that at 75s. So we're doing a little bit of a waiting game now. Obviously, we could not get filled at 68s. If we're not, again, risk is still the same. We scaled out of part of our position. If we get back up here, I'm still stopping out if we get up to 78. So what we'll do actually is place a little stop order here at 78s. It hasn't gone through, but in any case, I can just hover over 78s if it does get there. Seems as if the stop order didn't work. Just going offered here 69s. again, this is morning session, so you expect the price action to be a little bit slower, a little bit more lethargic, especially because, I mean, I didn't mention this before, but we're opening in the previous day's value. And when you open in value, you don't expect for there to be other time frame participants coming in and initiative buying or selling. So this concept of initiative buying and selling is very important. So effectively, really, if you're opening outside of values, when you get the more responsive buyers or sellers coming in because they see value. But at the minute, we've seen just a little bit of initiative selling to the downside. We're looking for that bit of a scalp, and it seems as if we just low tick here 69s, we might just get our fill here at 68s. We've just gone off at 69s. Seems whatever this buyer's holding up here, just above here, if he does puke, we might just get a quick just flush of the low here at 67s. Here, a bit of reloading here at 69s, which is good. 69s have now reloaded. Someone's tried to buy 69s at market, and effectively he's just been reloaded. So what I'm going to do is actually, just because of that, move my bid just a little bit lower in the event that if we can keep reloading these 69s, which we might, seems like the buyer's trying to come back a little bit here. We're reloading those 69s again. We might just get a small puke down, maybe nick a few ticks. Split this into 4 and 4. Still seeing a bit, there we go. You're seeing a bit of a puke, filled on the 4 lots. Someone just come to market, hit market, would offer the low. Someone just down ticket. There we go. We just got the down ticket, 66s. So very simple, very short and sweet strategy. Nothing too extravagant, guys. What really, it's about finding these tiny little edges in the market and trying to play them out day in and day out. And really what we're looking for, effectively, if we had to just really outline the strategy very quickly. So in terms of strategy, like we said, we've seen what we're looking at is pretty much an open, a drive, then a test of the open, and then another drive again. If we had to give it a name, I don't really call it by this name, but you could if you wanted to. Open, we drive, then we test the open, and then drive again. That's pretty much what we're looking for. In terms of how we would trade this, we're looking for passive entry. You don't want to be aggressive at the lows. You're trying to get in at a passive entry where you can afford a little bit more room. Obviously, your risk, the way I do it is a little bit tighter. I'm looking for my stop just above the open because I don't want it to trade through it. I want that seller that stepped in below the open to hold it below the open. But obviously, you can take a little bit of a wider stop if you want to be absolutely correct. You can have your stop above 80s, in which case you'd have a 6-tick stop. But like we said, passive entry. In terms of risk, we're looking at 3 to 4 ticks, but ideally you want to be above the open. Obviously, if this was the other way around, you want to be below the open if you're buying it. So above the open. And then in terms of reward, you're looking for a test of new low. And that more or less is about 6 to 7 ticks. So overall, you can see the strategy's got about a 1 to 2 risk-reward ratio, which is quite decent in the market. If you can find that kind of risk-reward ratio, especially when you're trading on the price ladder, that can be very, very useful. Obviously, if you're just trading based off a chart, a 1 to 2 is not unbelievable, but in terms of trading on the price ladder, 1 to 2 is actually a very good risk reward. There's traders that trade just 1-to-1 risk reward, but they know they have such a high probability of taking that 1 or 2 ticks every single time that they'll take a 1-to-1, or maybe even a slightly worse than 1-to-1, maybe a 2-to-1. But in any case, that's more or less what we're looking for. That's kind of the strategy. I wanted to go through very short and sweet little setup that we saw in the open. The open can be very lucrative if you can just stay really focused. I know it's really quite hard to be just as focused right bang on the open because everyone's just droopy. They just woken up, but you know, try and get yourself into that mode where you can start paying attention to the price action in the open because you do have some decent setups. So about that announcement, so yeah, it's been quite a while now that we've been developing a price ladder training program. So we finally come to the point now where we're ready to launch that. The announcement is effectively that the price ladder training program, we're actually launching next week on the 16th. So the 16th of February, we're going to have the launch event. So stay tuned for more details on that. That is basically where we've come to with that. We've been spending, you know, months, if not years, developing the software to do this. We've been testing this out in-house. We've seen some really, really exciting results with our graduates. You know, the learning curve has actually, you know, increased tremendously, and we've only been getting great feedback. So I'm really quite excited to release this. So guys, yeah, stay tuned. Follow the hashtag PLT launch. And if you follow this hashtag, you should get more and more news updates on the matter. If you want to ask me anything about the program or anything at all, you can follow me at MVS_Futex Live on Twitter, or you could just also ask the Futex Live Twitter handle at Futex Live for any questions regarding that. So fantastic. That's basically what I wanted to announce. Obviously, for those of you that haven't watched the previous videos, there is also the website, so you can go to price-ladder.com, and sooner or later we're going to have a proper landing page up, but you can enter your email in there and get all the relevant details and news updates regarding the program. So yeah, guys, thank you guys very much for listening. Very excited for what we just said. And yeah, speak to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Does the price action on the buy side reflect absorption? That's way bigger than we expected. Way bigger. We're going to be buying in front of this 2000 lot here, 32.